Super. Thank you, Marcel. Welcome to the afternoon sessions. As the slide says, Dominic Regan. I've been a long time in Oracle, 23 years, and all that time I've looked after our logistics applications, so transportation, global trade, and warehouse management, which we're probably best known for the transportation side. We've been in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant in the leaders area for all 17 of their reports. Photo of me, that was pre-COVID, so you can tell it was a tough few years since then. Come back here. American software company, so I have a safe harbor slide because I'll talk a little bit about what's happening in terms of roadmap, because I'm talking about how AI is being used within supply chain. So I'll talk a couple of things about roadmap. Oracle, most times when I mention it to people, they think, okay, yeah, Oracle database company, which is not the most exciting area. Then they think, oh, logistics. I tell them I work in that area, and they're like, oh, this sounds like doubly boring. But of course, Oracle, we also pretty well known for, since I think it's 2021, and then 2022 as the lead sponsor of Oracle Red Bull, who have done pretty well since then. And the interesting thing to me about Red Bull, I'm not a Formula One fan myself, but is the fact that they use our technology to do billions and billions of simulations. And in the slides, there'll be a link through to the full video where they talk about how they use data to drive better decisions. And that's what's really important about what's happening in logistics, because we're generating more and more data. As you can see on the sort of ticker tape here, with 2 cars going round with 10, however many races, 24 races a season, we're generating just for Red Bull somewhere around about 192 terabytes of data, which is quite a lot. But like a terabyte, if you might have a terabyte external drive on your laptop or something. If you take 1 billion of those and put them together, that makes what's called a zettabyte. Yeah, so that's a seriously large amount of data. And why that's important is this is some analysis from IDC. They look at the market and they talk about how much data there is out there in what they call the data sphere. So this is not just Formula One, it's not just the data that we generate, it's all data. Includes everything on social media, everything within corporations and enterprises. And you can see that we're heading to about 175, 180 zettabytes of data that's in the data sphere. And roughly, well, in this case, about 1/3 of that is real-time data, transient data. Now, why that's important from a logistics perspective is we're just generating more and more real-time data. We think about the growth of the visibility aggregators over the last few years, giving us real-time tracking of trucks, of containers, of vessels, also of, if you like, trackers that are attached to cargo. And this is just generating huge amounts of data. And then you add on the warehousing side with all the automation that's happening. We heard this morning about things like drones, the voice picking, stuff like that. This is all generating RFID, all generating substantial amounts of data. And actually, if you're interested in supply chain, it's not just data from execution systems, it's data that, if you like, is out there. So things like inclement weather, things like strikes, things like the Ever Given that got stuck in the Suez Canal. Understanding all what I would call environmental data is really important from a logistics point of view as well. And I say that, if you like, the summation of all of this is increasingly supply chains are data-driven. The problem is too much data just becomes a mountain of noise. Really difficult to understand what's going on. And that's why I like this tweet from Michael Dell, who talks about the fact that the power of AI is being able to make sense of all that data and making sense of it, if you like, in a time scale that is relevant for people. Yeah, it brings information to them that otherwise they wouldn't have the opportunity to look at. Now, again, what you really want that information for is to be able to make, if you like, insightful decisions. Yeah, the right decision at the right time to maybe correct something where there's an exception happening. And I say that's really where AI can help. And from an Oracle point of view, we've used AI for years and years. We use it at the application level. So when you see things like chatbots, when you look at interpreting data, whether that's visually or you're listening to speech, generating new data, we do that within the applications. But we also do it down within the platform itself, where we run all of those applications. And where some other customers bring their applications into our infrastructure. Yeah, so we have AI and ML embedded all the way through our platforms and our architecture. And from a supply chain perspective, that's really important because we have a very broad suite of supply chain software, everything from product design and innovation, all the way through procurement, planning, manufacturing, maintenance, and into the area that I work in logistics. And I say increasingly, we're building AI into those applications. So you can see some examples here. The yellow sort of outline is supply chain. The red bit is the part I'm going to spend a few more minutes on. That's the logistics piece. And so what are we sort of seeing there in terms of AI and machine learning? Well, firstly, things like chatbots, whether that's on the web or through Microsoft Teams or WhatsApp or whatever, or just in the applications themselves, the ability to take questions in real language and then interpret and provide a response. So we have customers who use this, customers like Western Digital, who use this as a self-service app for their customers. So rather than them picking up the phone and calling the Western Digital logistics department and saying, "Where's my stuff?" they can just ask it through a chatbot. Yeah, and a chatbot has AI and AI certainly built into it. Also, of course, if you think about the logistics area, things like in the warehouse, a lot of our customers are in the e-commerce space. So they've made a promise to the customer of when the product is going to be with them. So using AI and machine learning to understand when those orders hit the warehouse, what is the best estimate for when they're going to ship out the door, that's something that is a great use case for AI. Yeah, because you can take all of the historical information, you can understand all the factors that affect order fulfillment time, and you can then apply that to new orders that come and hit the order well. In the same way, in the warehouse, think about where do I want to locate products. Again, if you can look at the history of items, understand perhaps which items are typically ordered together, shipped together, then you can use that to influence where you're going to locate inventory in the warehouse. Yeah, and so rather than doing some huge reslotting exercise that's going to take you weeks and months, do it as a natural part of put away. Yeah, and so even if you bring new products in, you can look at similar categories of products in the past, understand what influenced the picking and shipping of those products, and again, apply that when you're putting products away in the warehouse. And of course, transportation, which is my own favorite area, predicting the time of arrival, again, classic way for using AI and machine learning. Because if you understand the factors that influence the actual arrival time against the planned arrival time in the past, which carrier did I use, where did I ship it from, what type of equipment was it, what other products were I shipping in combination? If you can understand those, and then apply those factors with the right weighting to new orders that come in, again, you can come up with far more accurate predictions for when those shipments are going to arrive. And then where we're going, again, this is the roadmap sign up on the top right, so this is something that's not here at the moment, but imminent. Things like order routing and order consolidation. Yeah, so again, understanding, you might tell a planner this is the way to do something, they might change that. And if you start to understand those interactions, then again, you can make better predictions going forward. You can decide perhaps which orders you want to consolidate together, or maybe which way you want to route them, which itinerary you're going to use. And then, of course, the big thing at the moment within AI is what's called generative AI. So we're all familiar with this, probably through our use of things like ChatGPT. And again, where we see, if you like, the application of generative AI is in a couple of areas. I mean, firstly, in terms of, say, having that interaction with the customer or with the end user, working with them in natural language to interpret huge amounts of data and present the information back to them that if you like, is in a meaningful way. So you might go out like here and say, okay, well, who are the top five carriers I'm working with on this lane? And what's their tender response time? How quickly do they respond to me asking them to do work? Yeah? Or you might go out to them and say you'll be looking to maybe to generate something that goes to them. Maybe generate them an email that has their latest KPI and dashboard on there. Yeah? And again, this is a very good way within logistics to use capabilities like generative AI. And what we've done is we've pulled together, again, from working with our customers, we have thousands of customers on our supply chain cloud products, work with our customers to understand the best use cases for generative AI. Because it's a great capability, but it needs to add value to the end customer. Yeah. So again, you can see some example here, both external facing and internal facing. Yeah. So maybe, how do I set something up with the system? How do I add a new rate to the system? Rather than going away and wading through help, why not present it back to the user in a way that they can just follow a simple task list, make sure they do everything, but they can also see, if you like, the source of where that information came from. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of, say, how we see AI and machine learning helping in terms of, say, applications in the logistics area. So we've got lots of customers. You can see a selection of them here. We have over 4,000 supply chain cloud customers. We're downstairs if you'd like to come up and have a chat. And I think, hopefully, 10 minutes should be it. Thank you.
Thank you.